Hello again, I am Jim Bob and welcome back to F1 Manager 23 on the PS5. It's time for round 18. We're heading to the Lusail circuit for the Qatar Grand Prix. So we've got another sprint weekend, two races of, I suppose, tonight. The sprint race followed by the feature. And it's a circuit that we don't have a lot of experience at. We've done one race on one of the features, the what's the word I'm looking for? Scenarios. We did one of the pre-order scenarios, the deluxe edition scenarios, just before the game went live proper on that weekend. And I've done one race on the PS4 version. And that's it. That's my entire experience of this circuit. So, yeah, don't really know what to expect. It could be okay, could be bad. Not quite sure how we're going to do. Our car should be pretty good, I hope. We've got two bites at the cherry in terms of getting a good starting position. We've got qualifying. And then if we can do well in the sprint, that sets us up for a really good starting position in the main race itself. Yeah, we'll just have to see how it goes. But we're coming off the back of a couple of good results now. We've had back-to-back victories. We got our first win of the season, finally, 2 races ago at Singapore. And then last night we followed that up at Suzuka with a 1-2. Very hard fought. At one stage, but in the end, you know, Russell did a superb job. Was absolutely fantastic in defence, gave Lewis time to break away and get clear, and from there on he was pretty much able to control his race, and we had to fight a little bit with George, you know, keep hold of second place. Perez was again a bit of a threat all the way through, but we were able to hold on. I think we had the right strategy, which helped as well. I'm not amazingly optimistic of another victory tonight. I think the Red Bull again of Perez might be a little bit too much for us, and I'm expecting Verstappen to have a brand new engine tonight as well, because I think he's been running old engines still. So we'll have to see how we do. It's going to be an interesting race. How you doing, Marcel? How you doing, Victor? Mr. Water, good to see you guys. Let's get straight into setting our performance targets for tonight. It is a sprint weekend, so as I say, 2 bites at the cherry in terms of getting a good starting position. Gives us a little bit of leeway. If we don't qualify amazingly well, we still got a chance to maybe move up the order a little bit before the main race. But obviously we want to qualify as far up as we can. I am going to try and get 2 in the top 6. And as for getting both into Q3, that should be doable. We're very good at qualifying with the 2-lap runs. We do seem to be able to get our cars quite high up, but there's always that risk. And as I say, with new engines potentially coming into play in this weekend, that could really shake things up a little bit. So that's why we're going top 6, even though we have been sort of locking out pole position in the last few races, just to be on the safe side. We need the money. So finish position 1 in the top 4, I think that's definitely achievable. We'll go for the fastest lap. Quali streak 2 in the top 8 with 2 of 5 races in, and finish position streak 1 in the top 6 for 5 races with 1 in on that one. Again, we should be able to hopefully manage those. How you doing, Farah? We are going to try and re-sign Lewis after this Grand Prix weekend. And yeah, we've got to try a 2-year option, because he doesn't want to do anything else. Staff are all sorted. Got some scouting going on. My chat has crashed already. There we go. Let's get that reloaded. It's just going to be one of those nights, I think. Let's go to Lusail.
Our calendar brings us to the Middle East this weekend for the Qatar Grand Prix. Making its debut as a Formula One track in 2021, Lusail International is Qatar's Grand Prix circuit. Designed initially with motorbike racing in mind, drivers will need to adopt that two-wheeled mentality of speed and manoeuvrability if they want to succeed here. As a desert track, Lusail is dusty and challenging. Grip levels are crucial and can change throughout a race weekend or even during a single session. The unique layout demands the highest possible downforce despite being a relatively open track.
This weekend will be taking a slightly different form as we have the addition of a thrilling sprint race thrown into the mix.
So, without further ado, let's get started.
Okay, what a surprise. It's going to be perfect weather, no rain. It's one of those circuits that it's just never ever going to be wet, is it? Right, we've done our sponsors, we've got our reports sorted. Let's go into practice. We're not running Mick tonight because it is, as I say, sprint weekend, so therefore we've only got one session to get the car as prepped as we possibly can before we go into Parc Fermé. I do have two setups in the book from the Red Bull file, so we'll stick those on the car, see how they do. We'll go 8.5 and 13, and then 7.3, 3.35, and a 0.95. The two setups are very similar. Only little bits of change between the two of them. I'm going to go 18 laps, I think. Should be about right. And we'll obviously drop the pace down. Need to swap out the parts as well. So let's go with that engine. And that ERS unit. We really are getting down to the nitty gritty on these parts, aren't we? We'll go with this gearbox. Yeah, we pretty much killed the other two now. Okay, there we go. That's Russell's car. Onto Hamilton's car. That engine. And that ERS. And we'll go with that gearbox. There we go. Once again, we're going to go 18 laps. We're going to drop the pace. And now we'll put the setup in for this car. As I say, very similar setups. Instead of an 8.5, we're going to go with an 8 on this one, a 13, a 7.3. And then instead of 3.35, we're going to go 3.4. And again, we're going to go 0.95. There we go. So two very similar setups, just minor tweaks between the two. We'll see if we can knock it out the park with either of those. Let's send them off to the track. How you doing, Harmony? Good to see you. Farah trying to set up a George Russell movement inside the chat there.
Radio's loud and clear. So radio check.
Well, let's go with Russell Vision for tonight's first lap tour.
Avoid all curbs. Avoid all curbs.
And there we go. There is a lap of the Lusail International Circuit. I have seen a couple of MotoGP events here over the years, and the racing's always been very good there. I did see the race here 2 seasons ago for Formula One. I didn't really see much in the way of overtaking. Obviously, we had tyre issues. A couple of people getting punctures in that race, which didn't help. I don't think this is a circuit that promotes a lot of overtaking opportunities apart from the main straight. I don't think it's ideally suited to cars. I mean, it was built and designed, initially for, MotoGP, but I do understand that it is very popular with the drivers. They like the challenge of the sweeping curves, and that's why I think. Well, that's not necessarily the only reason, but it's certainly one of the reasons why this circuit has remained. Because initially, this circuit was only going to be in for 1 year, and then no Qatar race last year because of the FIFA World Cup. And the plan initially, when Qatar was added onto the calendar, was, as I say, Lusail in 2021, no race in 2022 because of the World Cup, and 2023 we'd be going to a brand new circuit that was going to be custom built, purpose built for Formula One. And then, for whatever reason, partly money, I'm guessing, partly the positive reaction from the drivers, it's decided to stay here at Lusail. So, yeah. There we go. That is a very, very brief sort of history of Formula One at this circuit. I think the only real main opportunity for overtaking is going to be the main straight. Now, we might get a couple of opportunistic overtakes, maybe, in the midfield, but I think primarily this circuit is all geared around that, run up to and then down the main straight as our primary overtaking opportunities. I don't think we'll see too much outside of those areas. Max has put it in the wall, apparently. Did the notification pop up? I didn't see it, or, might have missed it. But yeah, Max is out. Now, actually, let's have a look. Was Max running a brand new engine? Because if he was, he might have just broken it. He is running a brand new engine. Not running a brand new gearbox, and he's got an old ERS unit in. What if he's damaged the gearbox with his car? Crashed there. That would be very fortuitous for us. As we get our cars back into the pits. We're getting menaced by Hulkenberg on approach. I think that might be Hulkenberg. Okay, we're very, very close. 96%. We just need a little tweak. So let's try converting this to the other setup. So we'll go 8 and 3.4. Do those changes make enough of a difference? Not to cornering. Let's try that. That's a slight change on the front, slight change on braking. It's going to change traction though. Alright, instead of that, let's try... doing that. That does... I'm trying to see. It's really hard to see because I think that there isn't going to make a change. Trying to see. Yeah, I'm gonna go with that. See how that works. Let's have a look at Hamilton. Ooh, this is going to be a brand new setup then. Okay, so, Let's go with an 8.2. And let's try... Is that going to be enough of a change on the straight? Let's try doing that. There we go. Yeah, we'll go with that. See if that works. This map is nicer. Yeah, this is one of the better ones. This one has a permanent night filter applied to it, because obviously, you know, it's a night race. So you got that dark surrounding that blots out the brightness of some of that, you know, sand texture, and then with the sort of the glow around the edge of the track because of the lighting, you know, that will come into play once it becomes a night race. Still think it'd be great to go back to Malaysia at some point, though. I'd love to take on Sepang in this game.
Are you sure everything is okay? Something feels odd.
Copy that, we'll take a look.
Alright, give me that feedback. 87. We've gone the wrong way, I think, with Lewis. So maybe that's going to be a 7.3 then. Sorry, a 6.4 instead of a 7.3. We tried an 8.2, and that didn't work. What about George? 97. That's close. That's very close. So, Russell is going to be pretty well prepared. Hamilton, we're going to have to wing it a little bit. Let's call him in. Let's take a look at what needs to be changed. Again, we're being stalked by a Haas. Alright, so yeah, it is a 6.4. Okay. So let's see if we can extrapolate the rest of the setup from that. So that needs to be about there. Front wing probably needs to be about where it is. We know the rear wing's good. Braking stability is about right. Just wondering whether I push the camber all the way up. I can't counter correct that, so let's try going to a 3.4. Pull that back. Let's go to a 3.35. Pull that back a bit more. What's that doing to the front wing? That puts it on something it was already on. Okay, so that's not going to work. So let's try an 8. Push that back to a 3.4. Push that back to an 8.5. And just hope that that's not going to break the straights. Right, there we go. That's our guess at Hamilton. Right, what about Russell? Oh, hate it when it's like this. Which way do I go? Ooh, do I go 3.45 or do I go 3.35? I'm going to go 3.35. I think. Actually, I'm looking at the traction. That might not work. If I go that way. I don't know. I just don't know which way to go on that. I'm going to go with that, I think. Alright, there we go. So, we've got 2 setups that are untested. One is close to being perfect. The other one is a bit of a guess. Max has got a penalty. That must be for the new engine, so that could see him drop down the grid a fair bit. Wonder if he has damaged that engine. That'd be perfect if he has. Right, time for quali.
Qualifying is coming up, and we're close now to finding out how the drivers will line up on the grid for the sprint.
In this session, drivers will be fighting for grid positions in the weekend sprint race. Only the fastest 10 will make it to Q3, where they're in with a chance of taking pole.
In terms of George Russell and his form, Karun, how's he going to be feeling, do you imagine?
It's clear that their teammate is pulling ahead of them right now, which they're bound to be nervous about. Hopefully they can keep a level head, because they can't really afford to make any mistakes.
Good point, Karun. Let's get on with qualifying.
So, let's put the good stuff back in the car. We are definitely going to fade quite dramatically in the last couple of races, I think, in terms of our pace and performance. We're quite fortunate that the Mercedes is a pretty durable engine. It should hold its power till around about 60%, whereas, you know, other engines will start fading a little bit quicker than that. But by the same token, it is also the least powerful engine on the grid, so it's not all sunshine, lollipops, rainbows and waterfalls. We're going to try just a single lap run to start with, just to test out these setups. What I want to do is just take a screenshot of those values, just in case that is correct, because then I can add those to the book. And I'll do the same with George, and then if they are 100%, I can add those in after the stream tonight. Ready for next season. Right, let's go qualify. So we didn't look at it, but here is the circuit plan. As you can see, bar two very small high-speed corners, it's almost entirely yellow and purple, this circuit. So it's full throttle or medium-speed corners, effectively. Oh no, there's a third one. I just noticed a very small third fast section, which looks pretty straight to me. You can see the heat haze effect in, you know, is fully on display at this circuit.
With the warm-up. Understood.
George wobbling his tyres in a very erratic way on a part of the track that you would not expect to see that. I'm halfway through a corner, let me just drive off track and back on again.
All clear ahead. Good to go.
So here we go then, our first flying lap
Circuit
around Lusail in career mode.
Good to go.
And Russell is up slightly on Lewis in the first sector. We have been noticing a trend in recent races that when we do these single lap runs, Russell seems to get the tyres switched on a lot quicker than Lewis does. But when we do the 2 lap runs, Russell doesn't have the same pace as Lewis. Let's see if that bears out here again. So a 1:21.7 is our opening lap
So
from George.
negative.
What can Lewis do?
And we will box end of this lap.
2/10. That's not too bad.
Just keep an eye on that delta. So just confirming boxing and back into the garage. Understood.
How you doing, Aiden? How do I get better results as Mercedes? Good strategy, a little bit of luck, and just focusing on developing the car. Yeah, there's no secret magic bullet. You know, it's hard work. It's taken us a long time to get to the point where we're quite pacey. Alright, that will be enough to get us through. Let's just have a quick look at Max. He has damaged his engine, look. It's down to 83 already. That was a brand new engine. That crash has definitely hurt him. Because I think 85% is the threshold for the Honda before it starts losing power. So that engine is already going to start to decline slightly. So a very painful weekend so far for Max. You know, he's got a brand new engine. He hasn't quite got the pace that he should have. And he's still got to take a penalty because he put a brand new engine in. Good times. Right, and we'll go with a 2-lap run for this session. This should give us a strong indication as to whether or not we can actually lock out the front row. Oh, that's not good. Okay, let's try a bit of a desperation thing here. Let's change the front wing. How do we do with George? 95%. Oh, we made that worse as well. Okay, let's try let's try correcting that as well. See if they help improve the situation. Front wing changes are all we can make. Let's send out Lewis first this time. Did I put 2 laps of fuel in this car? Yes, I did.
Let's just focus on the outlap.
Yep. We should do some work on the brakes.
Okay.
Okay. So we should see an improvement for both drivers on their second flying lap, as their confidence will be higher and the tyres will be, you know, easier to bring back up to core temperature again. Looks like Lewis did not get held up by Gasly there. That's good to see. 121.7, that's about what Russell did in the first session, I think. Russell a tenth slower. Let's see what we can do on this second flying lap. We're just on another prep lap right now, just recharging the battery a bit. And off we go to start the second flying lap. Might possibly have been held up by Verstappen there. And possibly Gasly there as well.
So that's a P1.
No improvement for either driver. So is that just the tyres wearing out? We did see a purple first sector for Hamilton, but that might just be getting a slipstream.
Yeah, we're happy with that.
Maybe the tyres just ran out of life. It's enough to get us through to the next session anyway. Which is all that really matters at this stage. But we have got good looking pace, which is encouraging to see. And we'll do our usual strategy of a single lap run at the start of Q3 on these old tyres, and then a 2-lap run on brand new softs. Again, we're looking to build a baseline of confidence before we really attack with brand new tyres. And hopefully those changes have improved the car handling a little bit as well. Oh yeah, there we go, 96 and 97, so a definite improvement there. I could make that change, but that's going to break other stuff. We'll leave it as that. That is as good as it's going to get, I think. Right, so just a single lap to start, and we want these old tyres. There we go. So these times aren't going to be amazingly competitive, but that isn't the point of this run here. It's all about just setting personal bests, just to build that confidence level up a little bit,
P1.
like that. So now we can go out on our actual tyres to qualify with a higher starting level of confidence, which means a bigger boost to our driver stats, which means a better chance of actually qualifying further up the grid. So, can we lock out the front row?
And circuits is all clear. Good to go.
Red Bull first and second right now. Okay, seeing improvement from George, which we should see from both our drivers. Say these are brand new tyres. Hamilton improving as well. Both comfortably in the very high confidence right now. Not too far from hitting peak confidence, which they should do, hopefully, by the end of this lap. No improvement from Russell in the middle sector. That's a little worrying. Or Hamilton, for that matter. Odd. So Russell improves, but it's not enough to actually move up a place. Hamilton does. Hamilton takes a provisional pole. So we've got a cool down lap to get those tyre temps back under control. Refill the batteries a little bit. And then we'll have one flying lap left. Touch wood. We should see an improvement from George. We may even see an improvement from Lewis as well. Got one Red Bull just starting his flying lap now. The other one's about to exit the pit lane. There he goes into turn 1. Oh no, Verstappen actually finished his flying lap. He has retaken provisional pole from Hamilton by just 23 thousandths of a second.
Track is all clear.
So Russell starts his flying lap now, and here comes Lewis winding up to start his final flying lap. We're not going to have any issues with traffic, which is really good. Okay, improvement for George in the first sector. And for Lewis. No purples though. Lewis is in peak confidence, so he has got a real chance of taking pole here. But we need Russell to improve. He has improved in the middle. No improvement for Lewis. Just needs to find less than a tenth.
So we have taken the flag.
Russell going for the line. Gets up to third. Lewis doesn't improve. Oh, that's close though. Look at that. Verstappen with his brand new engine, albeit slightly damaged brand new engine, is able to put it on pole position. But both of our drivers are within a single tenth. That is very close. Perez is on his flying lap. He goes for the line. And does not improve. Somebody improved. I'm not sure who it was. Was it Stroll? Saw somebody just jump up slightly. But there we go. Oh, Max has got a penalty as well. So Max will start the sprint on pole, but come the race he will drop down 10 places for that new engine, or well, at least 5 places. It might only be 5. It might be his second, it might be his 5th engine. We can check that somewhere, I think. Powertrain usage. Max. No. He's showing 3 going into this Grand Prix. So that is going to be his 4th engine. So that will be a 10th place penalty for Max for that engine. Right. Time for the sprint. Let's have a look. Oh no, wait, this is practice, isn't it? This is the final practice session. So we'll go mediums. And we want to run... We can't really make any more changes to the car. There's nothing we can adjust apart from the front wing, and they're as good as they're going to get. So let's run for 36 laps. With a view to actually, no, we'll load up that. we'll start again. We'll run them for less than that. We'll run them for about 28 laps. Just try and ease a little bit of the wear. We do need to put some good miles on the car in this session because we do have to build up the track knowledge just to help our confidence and preparation. But we don't need to go overboard on it. And we also need to put the old stuff back in so we don't knacker up the only good stuff we've got left. There we go, that's Lewis sorted. And now let's do Russell. Has to be a better way of doing it than this. There's too many little sub menus. It's just too many different, button presses when you want to switch out parts. Right, into practice 2 we go. Okay, Russell is the quicker.
Are we in trouble or not? Stand by.
I think once we get our drivers prep level up to about 90%, that's when we'll probably call them in. They don't need to be at 100. I mean, it helps, but like I say, we're at the point where we really can't afford to put unnecessary mileage on the cars. It's going to get to the point where we are going to be running hardly at all in practice. Once the setup is sorted, that will probably be all we do. Just to make sure that we don't wear out our remaining engine parts too quickly. Right, yeah, let's call George in. And now we'll call in Hamilton. And that's it for us. So we've got prep levels of 90%. It's good enough. And now we just have to hope that we don't get caught out in a wreck. If we can snag a 1-2 in the sprint ahead of Verstappen, that'll help us out in a couple of different ways. One, it'll get us an extra 5 points. Because it's 3 for a win, 2 for second, 1 for third, and that's it. That's the only points available in the sprint race. But not only that, it drops Verstappen down an extra 2 places. So that would mean instead of starting in 11th, he would start 13th in the main race. Oh no, it wouldn't affect them. Yeah, it would. Because this is what sets the starting grid for the main race, you know, the sprint. So we start first, and if we finish this race first and second, we start the main race first and second. I mean, we're going to do that pretty much anyway, I think, assuming we don't drop a position because of the penalty. But it would be nice, as I say, to be able to push Verstappen back an extra couple of places as well. At 90%, both our drivers... Oh, actually, no, Lewis doesn't. George just makes it into very high confidence. Lewis just under. So this is interesting. The confidence window for Lewis has tightened up a little bit by the look. For George has shrunk a little bit. So he now has an easier chance of getting into very high confidence. Whereas at the beginning of the season, it was the other way around. It was Lewis who had the easier time to get into very high. I wonder if that's George getting better or Lewis degrading with age. Maybe a combination of both.
This weekend, it's something a little bit different, as the Grand Prix grid is decided by more racing in today's eagerly anticipated sprint. The sprint kicks off the racing action for the weekend, a 100-kilometre battle to set the grid for the Grand Prix.
Points go to the top finishers in the sprint, and with no mandatory pit stops, it's all about the racing on the track.
But just who will be the fastest around Lusail? We'll find out in today's sprint.
Okay, so strategy. I think we'll go with the mediums rather than the softs. I think the softs are probably going to overheat. We are not making any adjustments to the car, but we are obviously going to swap out the engine components again. Take the practice parts out now. I could theoretically run that gearbox for the sprint and then change it for the race. I think I'll do that. Should be fine. Not going to change the fuel. We are going to go aggressive off the line because DRS will kick in after one lap. So we're not going to have the usual 2-lap stall before that kicks in. That engine, ERS, and that gearbox will be fine. Alright. Aggressive. We are ready to race. Oh, hang on a minute. Starting first and second. So the penalty has applied here. It doesn't normally do that. Why is that changed? Oh, it's because I never actually selected the strategy. There we go. Yeah, it looks as though it has already demoted Max. Why has it done it here when it doesn't do it on other sprints? Maybe that's a bug then. Because this is how it's supposed to be, you know. Penalties are applied before sprint, but you know, in our earlier sprints, we've not seen that happen.
The sprint today sees the drivers tackle 19 laps of the Lusail International Circuit.
It's a fast track here in Qatar. Expect to see the pack fight it out.
Oh, there he is. Look,
places to improve
Max
their
is on first
of scoring more championship points.
So there's something wrong, I think,
Forget the scheduled
with the
pit
coding
stops today. It's all about racing.
I'm pretty sure penalties were supposed to apply.
We're ready for the sprint here in Qatar.
Before qualifying. Yeah, before the sprint.
It's lights out and away we go.
I mean, it's last year's regulation, so I'm trying to remember.
with the car.
Copy.
Let's go for it.
Understood.
Let's get a bird's eye view of Hamilton attacking Max. Of course, Max is on full push right now as well, which is why we're not actually making any progress against him. We're just kind of shadowing him.
DRS has been enabled. So that's at P2 at the moment.
Just reduce your speed.
Alright, copy that.
So we just need to stay within a second now.
Good, Nick.
Understood.
Need to introduce a small amount of lift and coast.
Yep.
Interestingly enough, quite a few cars decided to go with the softs. There's only a few that have gone mediums. And someone went hards. Sargent went hards. That's an interesting choice.
Use the overtake.
Alright, so hopefully Max will be out of battery now. And we've broken away from Perez, which I did not expect. And Leclerc's got him. Verstappen's still pushing hard. Still threatening to pull away from Lewis. And now I think Max might be out of battery. Yeah, now he's out of battery.
Push and hold at overtake.
Yeah.
Lewis is almost out of battery.
Let's just work on getting that pack back up. Yeah, we just need to make sure that we don't fall off a cliff on that tyre.
Charles has closed that gap back up to Russell already.
Let's just manage these tyres.
Copy.
It's impossible to follow.
So anything could happen, Lewis. Let's just keep our heads down.
Right, I don't know if we can break away from Leclerc enough. He will come back at us. Yeah, it's
Charge the pack.
the benefit of being on those soft tyres.
So let's charge that pack.
Don't think he's going to get DRS on this lap. No, he didn't. And he's got Perez all over the back of him. Hopefully we'll slow him down a little bit. I think the AI definitely needs a bit more practice on this circuit. I did wonder how they were going to fare on this circuit and also on the Vegas track, because they haven't had as much time to run and learn the circuits as they have the other circuits, because obviously they've had an extra year of development. So it does look as though some of the lines are a little bit iffy. I don't know if we'll see an improvement to that in a patch at any point during the game's life. I think more likely we will see a big improvement in it next year. I don't know if that's something that will just get tweaked. It might do. But you'll see how, I think it's turn 2. They are very aggressive at going over the curb and completely ignoring track limits to, on that turn. So here we go, turn 2. On the about halfway through, you'll see here towards the exit of the corner. That's where they have a tendency to run very wide. There's another corner a little bit further around the track that they do that as well. And they do seem a little bit jerky in some of these braking and acceleration zones as well. Russell under pressure. Going to get dropped. Wasn't quick enough to react. Never mind. And I hold back Charles and Perez. No. I can't hold back Charles. Can hold back Perez though. Oh! We got ahead of Lewis. We got, sorry, ahead of Max.
Nice job.
George retakes his position. That's good. Let's give him some medium overtake aggression now. If I can frustrate Max like this for a bit, I can help burn his tyres out and potentially even help overheat his engine slightly. I think he's going to get us here. There he is. Once again, Leclerc's going to go up the inside, but we should hold off Perez. Which we do.
This car has something else, man.
What did I upgrade mostly for the Mercedes? Everything. I stripped the weights where I could without going too over the top. I improved the downforce. I tried to reduce the drag, improve cooling a little bit where I could, although not quite as much as I would have liked.
And just have a think about getting the pack back up.
It's not like the old game where you could just spam the underfloor and spam the rear wing and front wings and that would be it. You know, you do need to approach the game in a very different way when it comes to upgrading a car this time round. You look for areas where you're weak and try and improve those. And try and tune your upgrades to specific issues. Alright, so Hamilton can go into neutral. He is fully charged and ready. Russell isn't quite there yet, but he's not too far off. Can he go around the outside here at turn 1? Yes, he can. If you're looking to start a new Mercedes farm, might be worth waiting a week for the patch. Because Mercedes' starting objective will be rebalanced to finish third rather than finish second.
Goodness, just keep it up.
But second is achievable. We're only 20 odd points behind Ferrari at the moment in the constructors. So I'm just going to try and reduce the wear on the engine slightly. Running these slightly lower pace settings. Russell is tucked up nicely. Let's have a check at tyres. So the soft tyres really starting to struggle. We'll give it a couple more laps and then we'll sprint George past Leclerc and hopefully leave him and Perez away. I might go for it here. Let's see if we can get the move done nicely. No, not this lap. We'll try next lap. Hamilton into peak confidence.
Yeah, don't sweat it.
Just want him with a neutral defence. We just lost his peak confidence because he got overtaken. That's fine. We have got slightly better tyre wear than Max at the moment.
To start reducing that management.
Yeah, copy.
Just show me what you've got then.
Understood.
Sold him the dummy beautifully. Nice little confidence boost. Hamilton's got his move done. Nice. We're not going to sprint Hamilton away. We're going to wait for the end of the race before we do that. What we want to try and do is break Russell away from these two. Get him onto the back of Hamilton and Max. And this is the part of the track where the ERS really does come into effect. You can see in just a few corners we just pulled out over a second to Charles Leclerc there. Have I ever been to an F1 race? I have, but not for quite a long time. 21 years ago. The 2003 Silverstone Grand Prix.
Sweat it, Lewis.
Just reduce your speed.
Yep.
Right, there we go. We've got Russell into range.
Let's just manage these tyres.
Okay.
Although I did go to Rome in the late 2000s and paid a trip to the Ferrari store while I was there, amongst other locations. Very nice in there, also very expensive. So I instead went to a more local shop and bought a not quite authentic Ferrari cap, because the Ferrari cap was horrendously expensive from the Ferrari store. And the one I bought was much more reasonable and still very nice. And a friend of mine did go to Monaco around the same time, late 2000s, and brought me back a Monaco keychain, which I think I've still got in a drawer somewhere. I think Lewis is ready to break away.
And let's push.
I think Max is trying to overtake at the same time. See, we're getting to the point where the battery's going to kick in. There we go. Nice little launch from Lewis, starting to stretch that gap again.
charge the pack.
Yeah, copy.
Push and hold it, overtake.
Max is trying to go with him. We've left the soft-tired Perez and Leclerc way behind us. And unsurprisingly, Sargent in those hard tyres running at the very back of the grid.
And happy to pick up the pushing level.
Roger.
So we need 300 metres lift and coast. So we are low on battery at the moment.
Okay, there we go. We've got George where he needs to be.
Just need to make sure keep these tyres in good nick.
And now we'll just try and trickle charge a bit of battery back into Lewis's car for the last lap, in case Max
Just
tries
charge the pack.
a lunge, tries to push back up again. Hopefully Russell swarming over the back of him will distract him. We're getting a really good launch out of that tight hairpin. Our underfloor is really working nicely there. Alright, this is George moving up into second.
Understood.
That was a nice move.
Good job. Currently P2.
Just got to make sure that we don't get passed by Max on the main straight now.
Yeah, we just need to make sure that we don't fall off a cliff on that tyre. And avoid all curbs. Avoid all curbs.
Podium prediction for Sunday. What, this Sunday real race or this race that we're running here?
So happy to push now.
Yeah, copy.
I think Max is going to steamroller over everybody. It's just a question of who's going to finish elsewhere on the podium. And until we see how the cars start running over practice, I really don't want to make any predictions because the chasing pack's been all over the place, and Perez has been wildly inconsistent this season. So anything could happen for second and third. Go on, George. Yes!
Nice one.
Nice job.
So Lewis is going to win the sprint.
It's such a proud moment for me, man.
Russell just holds off Max.
Awesome race, mate.
We have got a yellow flag out on the track somewhere. It's Albon retiring.
Do it without you guys.
Yeah, you've taken.
Lewis Hamilton with a fine performance today.
And there you can see just how close it was between second and third there. Just less than a tenth. Just a fraction
What an
under a
outcome.
tenth.
They can go into the race full of confidence now.
But that's 5 points. For first and second in the sprints. And it means Max will start from 13th
Checkered flag.
rather than 11th in the main as well. Which hopefully takes him out of our hair for the race. Depends how well he can fight his way through.
And what a magnificent sprint win for Lewis Hamilton.
And what a well-deserved P1 finish that was. Absolutely outstanding.
So let's have a look. Oh, hang on a minute. It's giving this year's points on last year's rule set. Okay, that's weird. That's very weird. Okay, so yeah, 15 points. Excellent. Ferrari coming away with 7. So we, instead of gaining 5 points on Ferrari, we've gained 8. Yeah, okay, I'll take that. That brings us really within striking distance as we go into the main race. And this time the Alpine's just missing out, but they do both make the top 10. Good race for Gasly, gaining 5 places in the sprint. Magnussen having another shocker. Hulkenberg has a penalty going into the main race. Albon does as well, and will be starting from the back of the grid, thanks to that crash. Do I watch in real life practice? No, I don't. Because I don't have F1, Sky F1. I just watch the highlights on Channel 4. So that's
Welcome to
qualifying race
day.
only.
And before we get down to it, last-minute checks are being made.
Formula One first came to Qatar in 2021. Lewis Hamilton managed to pick up the victory, and in doing so claimed Lusail as his 30th different Grand Prix winning circuit.
Now, in terms of George Russell, Karun, how do you think he's going to be feeling going into this race?
You know what, Crofty? They're performing well above what's been expected of them so far. All in all, not a bad place to be.
Let's see what lies ahead for us then with today's race in Lusail.
Right, I really don't know what the best strategy is going to be here. I would imagine it's probably going to be medium, medium, soft. Like that. I think the soft tyres will probably overheat too much. I mean, we could have a look. Yeah, that is a quicker strategy. Okay, well, we'll go with that. In terms of fuel saving, I'm going to take 3 laps of fuel out. We'll just push the tyres a little bit off the line. Alright, here we go with the Qatar Grand Prix.
Here on the outskirts of Doha, the excitement continues to build as we approach the Qatar Grand Prix. Our attention shifts to Lewis Hamilton and what he can produce in this race.
They've got a fantastic opportunity starting on pole, but can they carry it through to the end?
But remember, anything can happen in Formula One. We're about to get going here in Qatar. And it's lights out, and away we go.
Oh, we've got an incident in the first turn.
At turn 1.
Perez and Leclerc coming together by the look of it. Welcome, Toby. Oh, that's fantastic. That has put a little bit of damage on the front wing of Perez, so that hopefully takes him out of the equation. Has that damaged Leclerc's tyres? No. Max is down in 19th place. Wow. He's all the way down there. Maybe he has got 2 new parts in the car. I wonder if he's changed... he might have changed his gearbox for the race. I don't have lap data yet, so I can't check. We've got a 1.5 second lead, and we haven't even started sprinting yet. Let's make sure that Alonso does not have the chance to stay with us. Not sprinting just yet because I want to make sure that he can break away a little bit from Leclerc before we try and sprint. In fact, is he on softs? He is. Okay, he's going to be trickier to break away from. In that case, we'll not fight that too much.
If we could just drop back a bit.
We can hold him up. He'll burn up his softs a little bit quicker. He won't be able to utilise their full pace. And then when we go on to softs, see how good a launch we're getting out of that hairpin. We're really strong in that section of the track.
Speed.
Okay. Need to make sure keep these tyres in good nick.
Right, now we're going to actually try and just stretch that gap a little bit for a lap.
Overtake.
Copy.
If we bring Alonso with us, we bring him with us, but Again, it's just extending the
DRS
gap
has been
to
enabled.
Leclerc slightly.
So currently P1. So we've got George behind.
Be careful with the car.
Okay.
So you just stay online.
Understood.
Alonso just about managed to sneak back into DRS range there.
Charge the pack.
Yeah, copy.
So just charge that pack. You are fastest on track.
Who's my reserve for next year? Yeah, we tried to re-sign Mick, and he just won't accept a reserve drive, which is, I understand why it's been coded that way in the game, but it's a bit frustrating. I was hoping to sign him for another year or two, with a view to maybe putting him in the car when Hamilton retires. Or at least just giving him us a chance to develop him for another year, and then maybe signing him at whatever team we go to after Mercedes. But yeah, he's going into free agency at the end of the season. So we've signed Porsche. Porsche will be our reserve driver next season. Right, so let's take another look at these two. Doesn't look like there's any damage to Leclerc, or none that we can see anyway. Perez, I thought he damaged his front wing, but it looks as though the end plates are intact. He does have a 5-second penalty though for his pit stop. And let's see, Max has got his way up to 17th so far. He's on soft tyres as well, so he's not making the progress that he would like. We go back to George. Just sitting in Lewis's DRS like this is helping protect him from Alonso. We're looking after both our tyres and our engines, running this pace setting, and obviously we're saving some fuel. And then when Alonso's tyres start to degrade, we can actually just open up the taps and just power away, break away from Alonso, leave him behind, like we did with Checo and Leclerc in the sprint. Or was it Checo and Sainz? Right, let's take a look at Max. Now that we've got extra data. So no, he's not running another new part. So what is it then that's given him that big a penalty? Because he's not swapped out the gearbox. His ERS is still knackered. And that engine, obviously, we know that took a big whack. Maybe he did change the gearbox and it took a huge whack in his crash as well. And I just didn't pick up on that. Where's the fastest lap right now, just out of interest? Russell, a 126.6. How much time was the penalty for Verstappen? It wasn't a time penalty, it was a position penalty. He got a 10 place. I thought it would just be 10 places for a new engine, but you know that would only put him in 13th, and he started 19th because of Albon's penalties. But he would have started 20th. So maybe he took two parts. Maybe he had 2 3-place penalties carried over from the previous race. I don't think he did. I don't think he had caused collisions at Suzuka. I don't remember him doing that. Yeah, I'm not quite sure where the second part of his penalty came from, but it was 10 places for the engine. Perez is going to get a 5-second penalty for tagging Charles Leclerc at the start of the Grand Prix. And that'll get added onto his first pit stop. Max goes fastest. He's got past Zhou and Prix. But he's in the danger zone at the moment because he's going side by side with Nico Hülkenberg. That one he's got not just Hülkenberg, but he's got Yuki as well. Kind of wish I'd focused in on that. A double move there for Max. Now we're going to start to see him open up his pace a little bit, I think. He should close up to Magnussen pretty quickly. He's already a second and a half clear of Yuki. Is this going to be my only save on YouTube? That's the plan. Last time around we did multiple save files. We did one with Williams, we did one that we kind of ended early with Haas, and then we did 3 seasons of challenge mode with Aston Martin. So we did, 7.5 seasons across 3 different save files in total. But the plan this time round is, with the patch coming probably next week, I doubt it's going to come this week now. I think it's going to happen. I mean, if it's going to come this week, it's going to come tomorrow. But with Gamescom going on, and Zandvoort this weekend, they did say in time for Monza and late August. So that to me says next week. I think the plan is to basically do one long save file and just go from one team to another, so that we don't have to keep resetting back to day one again. If we want to try a different team. Plus we'll see evolution of drivers. Some drivers will retire. Lewis is only going to be around for another year or 2 before he retires. Bottas will probably retire another couple of years after that. Ricardo possibly might retire. Perez possibly might retire. Hulkenberg might retire. Alonso will probably retire. You know, in our save over the within the next few seasons. So it will open up seats for new drivers and just, as I say, make things a little bit more interesting. And we can pick and choose which team we want to go to. Because if we can win the World Championship with Mercedes, that should give us enough reputation to go to any team that we want, I would imagine. So if in a year or two's time Ferrari are down in the doldrums, we'll look at maybe going to Ferrari and bringing a World Championship back to the Scuderia. But if they're doing quite well, then we might look at maybe going to Alfa Romeo and pretending that it's 2026 and it's Audi. Who knows? You know, obviously on PC we could just patch that in with a mod, but we can't do that on consoles. So that's kind of the idea. And if McLaren are still down in the doldrums, because they've had a really rotten year this year. If McLaren is still really rough in a couple of years' time, I might go to McLaren and try and restore them. So we've got options. You know, it all depends which team I think is going to be a fun challenge to move up the order. Right, I think it's time for us to see if we can drop Alonso. You do the full race without skipping. Yeah, I enjoy the cinematic experience of managing the entire race at real time. But I do speed through, bits from time to time in my private files. Obviously, when we stream this, we never fast forward the races unless I bodge the controls slightly.
Charge the pack.
Copy.
Alright, we've got a little bit of a gap to Alonso. It's not
that pack back up.
a gap that is safe by any stretch of the imagination. One lap of pushing from Alonso will bring him back into range, but his tyres are now below 60%, so they're going to be starting to really drop off. I see Zane posted something and it's gone before I even had a chance to read it. So far, though, Alonso is not pushing to close the gap. And we're keeping our tyre temps and tyre wear rates nicely under control here. And we've been saving fuel the whole time as well. So this really is boding well for our pace here. We could potentially be looking at quite a comfortable 1-2 here. I don't want to get too far ahead of myself. Don't want to jinx us. But if things continue playing out the way they have been doing so far, then it would take a mistake on our end for something to get, to take the result away from us. Lewis isn't defending from George because George has been instructed not to overtake. I've also dropped down George's overtaking to low to further that, and dropped Hamilton's defence down to low so that he sticks to the racing line. So yeah, it's not a case of not pulling away because of that. I'm running a lower a slower compound of tyre on a lower pace setting and saving fuel, and Alonso's not catching me. So it's not that Lewis is being held up because he's defending. Right, Max has fought his way up to 11th. His tyres are going to be looking a bit ropey. Oh, Stroll's tyres down to 38%. He's really been pushing those tyres hard. And Leclerc must have damage because he is dropping further and further down the field. He's down to 7th place now. He must have some damage to his suspension or his chassis as a result of that collision with Perez. So, yeah, he got a 5-second penalty, but Perez seems to have come out of that without damaging his car. And Leclerc, the innocent bystander in that, has definitely lost some pace as a result of that collision. Because he's now over 6 seconds behind Perez. Right, Alonso's on a bit of a push, trying to catch up again. He's just going to sneak into DRS. So he must be gearing up for a pit stop, and Sainz is in. And Stroll. Well, it's not at all surprising to see Stroll in the pits given how knackered his tyres were.
To start reducing that much.
Oh, he got held on release for Stroll.
We can drop them into the rest now. We can upgrade them.
Understood.
So medium tyres for both of those two. And now that we've upped our pace a little bit, we're comfortably pulling away from Alonso again. Let's see, where's Max? He's doing 128.1s at the moment behind Gasly. Oh, he goes side by side. He's through. So Max up to 7th now. Although aided by the fact that Stroll and Sainz are pitted. So technically he's running in 9th. He's going to be making his stop soon. I'm toying with the idea of converting to a one-stop and going onto a set of hard tyres. Let me see what that would look like. Yeah, let's do that. We'll split the strategies. Want to keep Hamilton on the softs, so we've got
Alonso's just pitted.
fastest lap pace whenever we need it. Russell, rather than just leaving him tucked up here behind Lewis, we can get him into free air, let him run at his own pace. He might be quicker, he might not be. But he can also act as a mobile roadblock for anyone who feels a bit like pushing. And if we protect his tyres like we've been doing in the first stint, he'll have no issues with grip towards the end of the race. Oh, Alonso's boxed. I missed that. And he's gone for softs again. So he's gone soft, medium, I'm going to guess, which is, you know, effectively what we were doing, but in reverse. Max has pulled out about a second on Gasly. And he's going to be boxing soon. So's Ocon. Bottas should be in at the end of this lap, I would imagine, and so would Piastri. Their tyres in the 30s. Let's give George a run as the lead car, so we can get Hamilton charged up on his battery.
And just have a think about getting the pack back up.
Yep.
We'll continue fuel saving as well. Still no pit stops for the cars that I was expecting to box. Oh no, Piastri has boxed. Bottas has yet to box. So Bottas surely coming in at the end of this lap. I wonder if Bottas is going to try and stretch for a one stop. Let's see if he goes for hards. And Joe's in as well. So both the Alfa Romeos coming in on the same lap. There's enough of a gap. They're not going to trip over each other. And it's mediums for Bottas, so he's... Oh, it's a delayed stop. It hasn't held up Joe, though. I wonder if Bottas is going to try... It's a long way to go on those mediums for a one-stop. 37, 38 laps. He's got to be two-stopping, I think. And Joe's gone for a set of softs, so he's definitely two-stopping because they won't last. So all eyes out now on Ocon and Verstappen. They are going to be the next two drivers to box. And Ocon's in, and so is Max. They're both coming in. Hard tyres for Max. Is he going to the end? Hard tyres for Ocon as well, who I think is going to the end.
Stop and charge.
Push and hold it, overtake.
Copy.
Oh, Hamilton's still in aggressive overtaking, isn't he?
Need to look after the car.
Understood.
Okay, we're into Hamilton's pit window.
Charge the pack.
Copy.
And we should be good to not have to fuel save at all now for the rest of the race. Norris into the box. This is going to be for a set of hards, I would imagine. Yep, there we go. Good stop. Oh, yellow flag. What was that for? It's not going to tell us. Yuki's in. And he's going soft, so Yuki is two-stopping. It's not going to have any real bearing on our race. How you doing, F1 Clips?
It's not going to be long now, mate.
Coming.
So we'll box at the end of this lap.
In the boxes, sir.
Have the others pit yet? Some of them have, some of them haven't. Well, that was a quick stop for Gasly. That was a very quick stop. There's your list of who has and hasn't stopped.
Okay, copy.
Perez staying out, so he must be going for a one stop. Oh, that's a sticky wheel nut.
Sorry about that. Yellow line on exit.
No, 1-2 is definitely possible. We've been running 1-2 since the beginning.
Yeah, we just need to make sure that we don't fall off a cliff on that tyre.
Understood.
Overcuts are pretty OP. Well, they are if you look after your tyres and are able to push while the other person, that you're racing against is getting their tyres up to temperature. And if you've pushed your tyres and you don't really have any rubber left, then not really. And if the person on the outlap pushes like we're doing with Hamilton to get these tyres up to temp quick, like that, then yeah.
Just need to make sure keep these tyres in good nick.
It doesn't really do anything. Right, Charles Leclerc is in. So, Leclerc is going for the one stop. Oh, I'm glad you're enjoying the stream already. That's good to see. Alright, I'm going to start pushing Hamilton for a fastest lap. And also to close that gap down to Alonso.
So it's hammer time.
Understood.
We'll go one more lap with George.
Box.
Copy, box.
Oh, this is just to set it for now. Oh, hello. Yellow flag. That's just someone going a little wide, I think.
Now we can see what happened. So we're heading now into turn 5. And the car just locks. Just unable to control the car by that point.
Yeah, we'll go for the fastest lap again. I mean, Lewis is on a 2-stop, so he'll be going for another set of softs before the end of the race. Whereas we were going to do that with George, but we're converting him to a 1-stop. I don't know if Ricardo got fired. He might have just moved to a new position within the team. And Perez is in the box. That's his 5-second penalty. And a slow animation, but yeah, there we go. His tyres are changed. He's going for the 1-stop on those hards. Russell's boxing at the end of this lap. He's going to retain position against Perez, but he is going to come out behind Hamilton, who has just gone fastest and is eating up the tarmac to Alonso right now. What's the name of Alonso's engineer? I think Alonso's got Chris Cronin in this game. I can't remember if Ben is Stroll's engineer or Alonso's engineer. I'll get to your question in a second, Toby. Just want to watch this pit stop. Alright, there we go. Clean stop. 2.2. Not bad. Hamilton overtakes Alonso to get himself into peak confidence. Nice.
Such an awesome job, mate. Increase in lifting coast just a little.
Yeah, Lewis needs to push because he's going to make another stop, as has Alonso. But we've got a nice little cushion to Sainz, who's stopping again. Stroll is stopping again. So the next driver that's going to be a threat, potentially Verstappen, if he can stretch those tyres. If not Perez. Perez is 9 seconds further back. So yeah, it's all looking good for George. The question now is Hamilton going to have enough pace to make the 2-stop work?
And just charge the pack. Just up the lifting coast a little more.
Right, what was the question, Toby? Do I think doing 2 upgrades per ATR period is a good idea? I don't think you can just set yourself a target of just saying, oh, we're only going to do 2 upgrades per period, because you might have a period where your car is good with just 2 upgrades, and then you might have a period where you bring just 2 upgrades and your car ends up dropping down the rankings. You know, you can't just apply a mathematical formula to it. You know, you've got to, it's got to be organic. You've got to look and see how your car is doing against the competition, where you're weak in terms of which particular parts are weak. You know, have you got a really bad chassis against the rest of the grid? Do you need to pump out quite a few chassis upgrades to try and bring that up, so that when you go into the next season, having brought some upgrades to the chassis and done research on the chassis, the following season your chassis is in a really good place. Yeah, you can't just go, I'm just going to do this, and that's my 2 upgrades for the period. You've got to have more of a feel for where your car is and where it really needs the development, and try and focus in on those key areas, but you can't ignore the rest of the car at the same time. So limiting yourself to just 2 upgrades, yeah, financially it'll be much more comfortable, but developmentally, no. It won't work for you in that respect. Alright, we can stop fuel saving with Lewis again.
Think about left lifting coast.
Understood.
There is no right or wrong answer in terms of how to apply your wind tunnel hours. What I generally tend to do is I put all my hours into one particular component, and then do minor upgrades, you know, components without hours, to supplement that, and then I switch the focus to a different part and give that major hours in the next period. But I mean, I don't know, maybe splitting the hours is a better strategy this time round. It wasn't last time. Maybe in this game, splitting the hours is a better tactic. Yeah, I went very heavy with development at the beginning of the season with this Mercedes, which has paid off in the sense that we're now competitive, but it has put us very close to the upper limit of the cost cap. We've got less than 10 million left, which is going to put a real dampener on what we can do for the rest of this season. And if I have to replace an engine, that's not going to be good at all. Russell's doing 126.0, so he's half a second faster than Alonso. That's good. Got to play a long, patient game with Russell here. I'm just going to, every now and again, just drop his tyre pace down a bit, just so we can save a bit more rubber for the end of the session. Now we've cooled Lewis's car down again, we'll put his tyres back up to standard pace. He needs to be lapping a little bit faster than he is to make his strategy work. Any tips to get loads of money while also being competitive? Setting realistic sponsor objectives and then completing them. What I like to do is if I'm not quite sure where my car's going to be, I pay close attention to the car analysis before the start of a Grand Prix, so on the day of the Grand Prix, so I can see where my car sits on paper against the rest of the field in terms of its aero performance. Is it, lacking in downforce going into a circuit where it's very much downforce heavy? Am I lacking in speed on a circuit that's a very quick circuit like Spa or Monza? If I am, then I adjust the sponsor objectives to make them a little bit more conservative. So instead of maybe going, okay, I'm definitely going to get 2 cars in the top 6, maybe I'm only going to get them in the top 8. Maybe I'm only going to get them in the top 10. Set more realistic targets for your sponsors, because even if you're not earning as much, you're more likely to actually succeed, and therefore you'll actually earn that money rather than losing money for failing your sponsor guarantees. Upgrading your tour centre can help bring in a little bit of extra passive income, but it's just kind of getting through that first season and then going big with your sponsors in terms of merchandise and stuff in pre-season for season 2. Okay, 125.6 for Russell. He took 1.2 seconds out of Alonso on that last lap. Hamilton nearly 2 seconds faster than Alonso. So Alonso is probably, his tyres are pretty much toast. I would like to get Russell past Alonso, if at all possible, before he pits. Let's give him some battery.
Push and hold, overtake.
Yeah, agree.
See if we can get the overtake and get that little confidence boost.
Pushing level.
Get George's stats up a little bit higher. Been a good recovery race from Max so far, up to 5th, having started 19th. But has he got to stop again? Looking at his tyres, and the fact that we've still got 22 laps to go, gotta say yes. He's gonna need to stop again. He's probably gonna go for another set of another set of softs towards the end.
Now talk us through this one, Karun.
McLaren's team get called into action. Oh, but they have trouble releasing the car.
Took another second out of Alonso on that last lap. But this is a full lap at normal tyre pace and full deployment on the battery, so we should theoretically close that gap even more on this lap. Hamilton's getting into his window. A 14-second gap to Russell. Alonso boxes, so we didn't quite catch Alonso in time.
Charge the pack.
Needing another couple of laps. I probably should have started pushing Russell a little bit sooner than that.
If we could just drop that a bit.
Alonso's gone mediums. Oh yeah, because he had to go. He went soft medium. So yeah, that's Alonso to the end. Max should have to pit for new tyres unless he goes full conserve. Yeah, well, this is the thing. The AI is a bit more unpredictable when it comes to strategy and tyre saving this time round. Oh, hello, VSC. Let's box Lewis early. And we'll just look after his tyres.
So we've got VSC, VSC, Delta positive.
We got that just in time. Oh, Sainz is out. I didn't see who it was who actually caused that. But yeah, Sainz is out. So
Sainz is stopped. Right for him.
not sure what happened to him. A good clean stop for Lewis there, 2.25 seconds. And that gets him out in second place, right behind George. Wow. That's worked out beautifully for Lewis.
Make sure keep these tyres in good nick.
Understood.
Oh, sticky wheel nut there for Stroll.
This one is involving Yuki Tsunoda. Things were all right here. The wheels just lock up there. They took a gamble and it was just too late.
Yeah, we just need to make sure that we don't fall off a cliff on that tyre.
Understood.
Let George win the race. I was going to let them just battle each other, but given that Lewis is now right there on much faster tyres, it makes no sense to hold Lewis back. Let him run off into the distance. George can defend against whatever the Red Bulls throw at him. In fact, I might possibly... Where's George? It's not worth taking the risk. I thought about maybe boxing George for a set of softs, but it's going to drop him into the clutches of the Red Bulls, if not behind the Red Bulls. And that's without a sticky wheel nut that we've already seen on Lewis's first stop. We'll try and keep him in Hamilton's DRS and let Hamilton pull him along at a slightly quicker pace. We won't have to worry about any more tyre saving with George, I don't think. Surprised Max hasn't taken the opportunity to
VSC ending.
box.
Yeah, copy, all good.
DRS has been enabled.
So happy to push now.
Going.
Just push.
Make sure George doesn't lose confidence for being overtaken, which would have happened anyway, given the huge disparity in grip between the two tyre compounds. Oh yeah, if the Red Bulls had boxed, I would absolutely have boxed Russell. I missed the replay of how Sainz crashed. Yeah, I know I missed it. F1 manager crashes are really predictable. They were in the last game. Not as predictable this time. And a bit more variety in them as well. Oh, that's the wrong driver.
Understood.
Let's just work on getting that pack back up.
Again, they've got a car just coming out the pits there. Why didn't it box under the safety car, under the VSC?
Happy to start reducing that management.
Copy.
Alright, so let's have a look at Perez's pace. 1:24.3 on that last lap. It's not really true indication of pace, I don't think. Let's pay attention to how they look at the end of this lap. Yeah, Russell just has got no chance of keeping pace with Hamilton, I don't think. I'll keep pushing him on this lap, see if he can, by any chance, try and close that gap a bit, but he's just not going to have the pace in the corners through the infield. I'm really curious as to whether Verstappen can make those tyres last. I mean, he should be able to make them last. I don't think they'll be very competitive. And we've got a 20% wear advantage over him right now. But if Perez gets past him, Perez will drag him along. Have you noticed, Mr. Water, that Farah has been very quiet? Hasn't said a word since a little bit before Hamilton won the sprint, and is now on course to win this Grand Prix as well. Oh, we've got another yellow flag. It's a VSC, and now I am going to box Russell because I'm expecting Max to box. Oh, his Max has crashed. Oh, well, if he's still going, he's definitely going to be boxing now, but that's taken Max out of the equation. Oh, I'm seeing sparks. Has he destroyed another set of components?
And look at the team there. They all knew what that moment meant.
He's out. Max is out.
Let's just manage these tyres.
Copy.
So, under VSC, it's going to be close as to whether or not we get out ahead of Perez. We should be very close to him, if not. But Perez might pit himself. Might see a few drivers scampering into the pits here. Ocon's a prime candidate. Good stop. Yep, Perez goes through. Can we get out ahead of Leclerc? Oh, no. We're going to be behind Alonso. Oh no, we're going to get out ahead of Alonso just. Okay, that's alright. So we've got 6 seconds off the back of Perez, but we're now on brand new soft tyres. Perez on used hard tyres, as is Charles Leclerc. And Alonso is on slightly used mediums. He's not going to be able to keep up with Russell.
And avoid all curbs. Avoid all curbs.
Yep.
So we're on for really big points. Like, huge points again. 44 points for this race, plus the 15 points from the last race as well, the sprint. We're going to overhaul Ferrari. We're going to take second place in the Constructors today.
So VSC ending.
And happy to pick up the pushing level.
Copy.
The RSMA.
Pick up the pace.
So I'm just going to see if I can stick with this pace. Save the engine a bit. We're already avoiding curves to save the gearbox and ERS as well. swoop around the outside of Charles there. Stroll sets the fastest lap, a 1:23.1.
Nice job.
Here's the replay. Now look, here we head into turn 2. Can they squeeze by? Up into third and contending for a podium place.
Glad that they added a little bit of variety to Crofty's lines this year.
Okay, let's see what you got then.
Covering.
We'll let George grab the fastest lap. Track limits. Even with Hamilton on maximum tyre conserve, although he's burning off the extra fuel, he's not pushing the battery, he's avoiding curbs, and he's still pulling away from Perez. George is going to be on him in a flash. Oh, did we get the DRS there? No, we didn't. See, we got the fastest time. I didn't actually see what the time was. What was it? Let's see, a 1:22.4. Wow, that's quick. That's 0.6 faster than Stroll. Farah's probably sulking in the corner somewhere. Yep. Ah, there we go, killed the battery.
If we could just drop back a bit.
Covering.
Look, we've caught Ross, caught up to the back of Perez.
Charge the pack.
Oh, I'm fully aware of how the stats work in this. You know, put over 1,000 hours into the last game. I've already platinumed the PS4 version. Okay, so 8 laps to go when we cross the line. Plenty of time to get past Perez. His tyres are definitely suffering a bit. Alonso yet to get past Leclerc though. Just keep an eye on that, see if you can get the move done. He's got faster tyres and more life in them as well, so he should get this move done here. Nope. Not this time.
There seems to be some great local resistance.
Cheek in my ears. We'll just stay in harvest mode and then we'll try and jump him on the main straight. Perez is going to get DRS. Unless the Williams pulls out the way in time. Nope. We got a nice little slipstream. Perez goes defensive. But we were never going to get the move done while we were in charge mode. If Perez got the DRS there.
Push and hold, overtake.
Copy.
Is that happy to push now?
Yeah.
Alonso has now got past Leclerc. I would imagine he will be able to stretch that gap. We've got another VSC. We're going to see anyone boxing. This is more fuel that's going to be
Understood.
pumped back into the car.
What the was that, honestly? Oh.
And for the crew watching on.
That's the first Alpine retirement we've seen in a while. They've been consistently getting into the top 10 with both their cars in the last few races. Oh, that's a Haas going very wide.
We've had a big crash here.
He's retired. It's Hulkenberg. Of course it's
Nico
Hulkenberg.
Hulkenberg there. Oh, and a fairly substantial crash there. And that's a tough one to take for both driver and the car.
And that was under VSC as well. That's another retirement. They're just starting to drop like flies.
only 5 laps.
We're going to go full sprint with George the second the track goes green.
Just show me what you've got then.
Yep.
Need that VSC to end now. This has been the most comfortable victory that we've had in this game for a very long time. We're over 20 seconds clear. I don't think we had such a dominant win on our Aston Martin playthrough. We might have done.
And 4 laps remain.
Alright, come on. Both those cars have moved off. Let's go racing again. Go.
Yes, the ending.
Coming.
Let's push on hard, close up to it. DRS enabled.
Of course it wasn't 20 seconds. It's because the VSC. Yeah, back up to running speeds. It's dropped it to 18 seconds, but it's still a substantial lead. Oh, come on, George.
That's it, mate.
2 laps remaining.
Just cool the car.
Coming.
There we go. We're through.
But this is what happened. It was George Russell involved. The opportunity begging to be taken. And George Russell says thank you very much.
And so does his team boss. Thank you very much. I need some new material. I say that all the time. Every time that comment comes up, I do the same response. So, chance to improve the fastest lap. Oh, maybe not. Out of battery. Got enough pace, though, I think, hopefully, to break Perez before we get the DRS detection zone. Just about.
Let's just manage these tyres.
Yeah, copy.
Yeah, no point taking unnecessary risks with Russell. And we'll ride the ham cam for the last couple of corners. There we go. Not counting the sprint, 3 in a row. Glorious stuff. Comprehensive victory for Hamilton today.
Get in there, Lewis.
So happy for everybody.
Lewis Hamilton picks up the win.
Just the perfect end to what has been a thrilling race.
So that's the checkered flag. So that's P2.
Good job. Nicely done, team.
Well done.
There we go. Confirmation. Russell getting second by 3 seconds in the end. Nice and comfortable. Let's take a look further down. Alonso 4th, Leclerc 5th. Stroll in 6th. Gasly another 30 seconds back. In 7th, Magnussen getting a couple more points. Norris are getting points again. And oh my god! Alfa Romeo are going to score a point. Their first point of the season. They have scored because Bottas is lapped. Alfa Romeo scored their first point. Wow. I thought they were actually going to go the entire season without scoring. That's my Dune Duster trophy, winning at Qatar in career mode.
An inspired strategy from the team there. What a well-deserved win that was.
Pure elation there as the driver regroups with a team that worked so hard to see this moment. And Lewis Hamilton takes to the podium once more, adding yet another trophy to his legacy.
There's further delight for the team as they get to see both drivers up there together.
And that picture right there brings together the podium finishers for the Qatar Grand Prix.
So it's the same
And as
podium
proceedings
again.
start to wind down here, what will
Same three on the
Mercedes have made
podium
of
as
this
it has been for the
result,
last
Prix?
2 races before.
I doubt they could be much happier. A win and a podium place. What a great way to round out the weekend.
So then, our time in Lusail is now up.
Coming up next, we'll be crossing the pond all the way to Texas for the twists and turns of the United States Grand Prix.
And that'll be another sprint race as well. There we go. Confirmation of the result. A win for Lewis, a very comfortable win in the end. Fastest lap for George to go along with his second place. Perez bringing his Red Bull home in third. Alonso jumping Leclerc does us a favour in the constructors. That takes 2 more points away from Ferrari. Stroll getting himself some decent points as well with his 6th place finish. Helped, of course, by the fact that Max and Carlos failed to finish the race. Gasly up 2 places, Magnussen up 5, Norris up 1 to finish in 9th place, and Valtteri Bottas gets himself a point and Alfa Romeo's first point of the season in the Drivers' Championship. No points for Max means that with Perez's 3rd place, the gap is now just 1 3rd place podium finish apart. Just 15 points the gap now between the front 2 for the title. Lewis's 25 points does kind of keep him in the hunt for a potential world championship. If we could win the world title, that would be insane. He's not that far off. He's what? Ooh, bit of quick mental maths here. 47 points off? And there's plenty of points still up for grabs. It's not impossible for us to suddenly win this world championship. That would be something else. We're not going to win the constructors. We're just too far off. But could we possibly even... I mean, I didn't think we'd even stand a chance of getting into the top 3 earlier in the season. And here we are, just 40 odd points off Sergio Perez. Wow, that's crazy. Charles Leclerc in 4th place pulls further away from his teammate Sainz, who again fails to get points. It's becoming a bit of a rough end of the season for Carlos. George is closing him down pretty quickly. 19 points gained today means the gap between those two is now just 14 points. Alonso, good points for him again. Stroll actually chipping in to Aston Martin. And as we go further down, there it is, Valtteri Bottas with his 1 point, meaning that he is no longer one of the remaining drivers yet to score a point. That remains Nick de Vries, Logan Sargent, Oscar Piastri and Zhou Guan Yu. Let's take a look at the Constructors' Championship. Red Bull, 621 points. They add another 15 to their total. We move above Ferrari. We're now 13 points ahead of Ferrari. What a swing that's been. 44 points to 10 in this race, but it's also another 8-point swing when you factor in the sprint on top of that as well. We got 15 to their 7. So yeah, huge gains to, over Ferrari today. Wonderful result in that respect. And we were so close to Aston Martin for a while that it looked like they might be threatening us for 3rd place. And we're now nearly 200 points clear of them. These last few races have been monster scoring opportunities for us, and we have absolutely been able to capitalise on them. Wonderful stuff. More good points for Haas, but again, not really going anywhere. McLaren, again, not really going anywhere, but Alfa Romeo have got a point. And now, are we going to see AlphaTauri get threatened for their 9th place? It's possible. Anything could happen. In terms of the pit stops, Red Bull once again absolutely crushing it. 1st and 2nd with the fastest stops. Alpine with a very quick stop. We saw that stop for Gasly. It was a very quick, very smooth stop. McLaren, again, consistently fast with their pit stops. Ferrari, pretty quick as well. We do get one of our cars onto the grid, just onto the leaderboard in 10th place, but we are 1.5 tenths slower than the Red Bulls at the moment. Need to find a bit more pace with our pit crew. So that one extra point keeps us in 6th place with 30 points off AlphaTauri. Who knows, maybe we could overhaul them before the season finishes. And then we see stuck wheel nut, the cause of Lewis's delayed first pit stop there. But it all came good in the end. Let's take a look at our stats for our drivers. So 7 successful overtakes, 6 failed for George. 7 successful defences, 5 failed. And take a look at Lewis. 7 overtakes, 3 failed, and then same for defending, 7 against 3. I'm guessing that's also taking the sprint into consideration, because there's no way that they're going to be identical stats for both races. And we started at the front and didn't really do that much, so yeah, it must be a combination of both of those two results thrown together. No XP gained for Mick. We didn't run him this weekend because it was a sprint. Same again next race, we won't be running him there either. Again, it's a sprint, so we need to focus on making sure our 2 drivers are there. And we might not run him at all for the rest of the season if our engines continue to degrade a little bit quicker than I would like. Yeah, we've got to try and limit the running where we can. Another 4.5 million earned from our sponsors, but we lose some of that through bonuses, so that's 4 million more in the bank. We can put that towards maybe a minor facility upgrade at the end of the season. More than likely, though, that will stay in the bank, ready for the start of the new season. Right, we have an inbox requirement. Design Centre fire. Ugh. Let's see. Let's take a look at our inspection. The chassis failed on Lewis's car, so that's going to need to be replaced. That's okay. We can deal with that. So we're going to lose 8 days of progress on our design centre. So that's going to affect our research. And I think we've got one part coming that was going to be touch and go for one of the races. That might now get delayed. We might not get that in time for the race that it was intended. Right, let's replace that chassis. How many more have I got left? I've still got 3 left. 75% left on that one, so that's going to be another couple of races before that needs to get fixed. Hopefully we won't need to replace those again, but I am considering building one more just to be on the safe side. I think I'll wait and see how Kota goes before we go ahead with that. Our side pods have been delayed as a result of the fire, so we were hoping to get those in time for Mexico. We might get one if we're lucky. If not, we'll have them for Sao Paulo, and then Vegas, and then the final race of the season at Abu Dhabi. Yeah, it would have been nice to have those in Mexico. But it is what it is. Right. Can we re-sign Lewis? His confidence has got to be sky high with 3 back-to-back victories. He's still a bit grumpy from the last offer, so we'll have to wait until just before Kota, I think, before we can try again. So let's just quickly double check our facilities. We've got our CFD simulator upgrade going through. It would be nice to put an upgrade on that, but we don't have 10 million at the moment. It is going to degrade soon, so it would be better to upgrade rather than refurb if we can. Everything here is okay. Hospitality has taken a bit of a knock. Okay, let's see. Do I go ahead and refurb that? It's not going to. Definitely going to upgrade this, or refurb that. Sorry. We need to maximise the money we get coming in from our sponsors. I don't know if it's worth doing that. I mean, by the time it's refurbed, I don't think it's going to have any real impact on Lewis. That's only 220k. Screw it, let's do it. Just in case he rejects our next offer. Really hope he doesn't. Right, let's advance some time. Yeah, I know about the chassis stock. That's fine. Okay. Let's have a look at Lewis. Is he in negotiating mood? He is. So, we tried him on a 2-season and he didn't go for it. So, let's try upping his salary just a little bit more. No! He doesn't want to see it. Wow. Okay. We're going to have to try just a single season then. Just a 1-season renewal. That or I push his wages up even further to try and persuade him on a 2-year deal. Alright, we're going to have to wait till after Kota. The cause of the issue was found and resolved, so the design centre is completely safe to work in again. And we are sending the police to a certain Farah, because he's obviously unhappy at Lewis starting to win races and is sabotaging us in any way he possibly can. He is hacking into our game and is setting fire to our design centre. He'll do anything to stop Lewis from winning. Right, we've got some scouting results back. Jody and Simone Resta, Dan Fallows and Enrique. Right, who do we want to scout next? What engineer scouting have we got done so far? Quite a lot. There isn't really anybody else here I want to pay too much attention to. We've got our engineering team re-signed, I believe. We re-signed Marcus. Yes, we did. All of our staff are locked up for next season. It's just James Allison that needs to be sorted out at the end of next season. What have we got here so far? Okay, let's go ahead and do some more scouting in the technical chiefs. I'm going to scout out. I mean, I've seen Diana's stats on other saves. She has a 91 rating on something. She has a couple of really phenomenal stats and a couple of really kind of average / rubbish stats. Oh, that's contract. We don't want to do that. We want to scout her out, see how she has improved, maybe. over the season. We'll scout Mauro as well. He has a little bit more balance to his stats, I believe, but in different areas. It's a big drop to Yardley. Let's take a look at Tariq as well, or Tariq. And let's see. Let's scout out Matt Harmon. Okay, there we go. That's our 4 scouts issued and allocated. There we go. That is the end of another stream. We've had another fantastic result tonight. You know, a 1-2 in the sprint, followed by a 1-2 in the main. And now we go to Kota tomorrow for another sprint weekend. So, I think Kota's a sprint. Yes, it is. It's another sprint weekend. We've got 2 more. We've got Kota and then we've got Brazil. And that's the end of the sprints for the year. So, chance for big points again tomorrow. Another 59 points on offer for the team. And another 34 points on offer for the drivers. If they get first in both the sprint and the Grand Prix and the fastest lap, that's 34 points. So, yeah, what a great string of results we've had. That's 3 back-to-back wins, 2 back-to-back 1-2s, 3 if you count the sprint as well. Our fortunes have really turned around recently, but we are running really low on supplies and money as far as the cost cap goes as well. It's now a question of how long we can sustain this before our engine power dips to the point where we become uncompetitive. We cannot really afford a new engine. Or we can, theoretically, but it would put the kibosh on any real end of season research. So I think effectively we can't really buy any more engines, because also if we need to manufacture any spare parts, which is definitely a possibility, and we have got those new side pods that we need to manufacture as well, that just eats up more of our remaining small cost cap budget. So yeah, just got to be hopeful that we don't have any big shunts that do powertrain damage, because that will end our season, and Ferrari will overhaul us and we will not be able to fight them back. And it would kill any outside chance we have of actually winning the title with Lewis, which I still can't believe is actually a possibility. We were so far away just a handful of races ago, and with those 3 wins in a row, Lewis is now within striking distance. He's what, 57 points off Max. It's really close. You know, a couple more results like we've had in the last 3 races, and that gap could be next to nothing. It is shaping up to be a very interesting end to our first season at Mercedes. Very interesting indeed. And we'll see how things go tomorrow at Kota. We'll be starting usual time, 9 o'clock. I hope you'll join me for that. If you have enjoyed tonight's stream, please consider dropping a like. If you're new to the channel, then why not go ahead and subscribe as well. It is free. There's no channel memberships. There's no paid adverts. It's purely for fun that I do this, for your entertainment. And I hope you have been entertained and enjoyed the race. And I hope you'll be back for the next one. So until then, that's it from me. Thanks for watching. I am Jim Bob, and I'll be back with some more F1 Manager very soon.